Hello. Today we have a very special guest, Nish. He is the host of the ever popular The Starcraft Observer, where he interviews members of the Starcraft community, also, which has some of the funniest SC2 memes I have ever seen. So be sure to check those out if you have not. He's also a very popular Twitch streamer and an invaluable member of the RTS community. I am honored that he is our very first official guest of the show. So thank you for being here. Can you tell
Awesome,
us a
no
little about
problem.
yourself?
No problem, man. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. It's
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
it's always it's always weird hearing compliments like that because it just started off with me like making videos, and then that's it. I just wanted to make videos, and next thing you know, people really appreciate them. But yeah, like a little bit about myself. So yeah, I grew up, playing video games as any other kid and stuff. So I got into RTS the first time when I encountered Command and Conquer for the PlayStation. And yeah, it was red alert, and something about creating mass armies and then just going head to head against the AI was just really fun, because there's all these like different units that could do like cool things, like what was it, I think it was it's pronounced grenadiers, I can't remember. But yeah, like they could do like a bunch of cool stuff, and at the time I didn't know it was called RTS. I just saw it as this, oh, it's one of those games where it's like top view and you create a massive army. So yeah, I got into RTS very early on, and always had like a fascination with it, and it wasn't until Starcraft 2 where I really got into it. I did play a bit of Brood War and had fun there. The whole like max out rule with your friend, and just send armies at each other, and nukes falling all over the map. So did a lot of that, and yeah, like I said, it wasn't until I got into uh, StarCraft 2, or when StarCraft 2 released, where I really got into it. I remember one of my friends was like, "Hey, did you ever play StarCraft?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "They're releasing a part two." I was like, "A part two? Like what?" And then I look it up, and I was like, "Oh snap!" And I remember going to like the midnight release for that, waiting in line for my Wings of Liberty copy, and after that, discovering the Korean pro scene and GSL and all these incredible players. And ever since then, it's just I've been in love with the game and RTS in general. Like I think it was StarCraft 2 that really solidified the passion for RTS. So, yeah.
Definitely. No. And that's awesome.
Yeah. I really have to thank my friend Adam, who really got me into it, because without him, like I wouldn't have met so many great people at these events, and bar crafts too. Oh my gosh, those were amazing.
Uh,
I miss those.
yes. I think you mentioned Adam in one of your episodes,
Yeah.
thanking him when you were asking about a specific community member. I
Mhm,
think you asked like Roddy and possibly Zombie Grub, if I remember
mhm.
correctly.
Yeah. So Adam, I can't remember the last time I talked to him. He's been busy. He's like a professional bodybuilder now and trainer. But
Okay.
yeah, like
That'll keep you
like I mean
busy.
like a legit body trainer. Like he's like swole and everything. I was just like, dude, you
Oh.
did not look like that when I first met you. Like we were like both nerdy, chubby kids playing like StarCraft 2 and just all day. That's it. But yeah, he's like super swole now. But yeah, like because of him, I discovered this amazing community, and yeah, we're going to like to Team Liquid meetups, bar crafts. We were staying up like super late watching GSL together, and yeah, I just really have him to thank for all of that. And yeah, ever since then, it's been amazing, man.
Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, it's such a unique community, and
Mhm.
I mean, I don't get the satisfaction in other games as I do with RTS. Like, you know
Mm,
what I mean? Like you're playing team games, and I mean, I can 99% of the time blame it on the other team, or like
yeah.
my team members, even if it's not my fault. But like when you're one on one with someone and you win, like there's a special feeling in there. It's really, I wouldn't say irreplaceable, but it's different. It hits different for sure, and that's what I
Yeah.
really love about it.
Yeah, I think when I was talking to Borsty in, I think it was like, yeah, episode 2 of my podcast,
Hmm.
he really describes it really well, because like, you know, uh it's really you who made the win happen, because all these things are being thrown at you, and because of your multitasking skills and the way you maneuvered your army and your army placement, and on top of that your macro and yeah, just your uh, management of your economy. And when that win happens, it's just like, dude, I did this. you know,
Yes.
I got 23 points on the ladder. Cool.
Yeah. Yes. Boom. And then from there on out, you're in trouble because you're just chasing
Yeah.
it, chasing the higher and higher MMR. But
Yeah, those losing streak days are the worst, dude. That's
oh,
when the one thing that I taught myself is like, and I try to be good about this. I try is if I get like 4 losses back to back, I just stop.
oh, that's good.
Because I know
That's a
like
good
my
idea.
my mental state or like something's off. Like either I'm tired or I'm just like not really focused and paying attention to my resources or something. So I'll just like step away and just just do something else for a while. Like I'll just like step away and just like play like Overwatch or play something else that just like gives me that um I don't know, that gratification of just like working towards a win.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the StarCraft Observer, what
Mhm.
made you want to make a podcast and like where did you get the idea for it?
That's a great, awesome question. I was thinking about this the other day too because I'm like planning on making a vlog around it.
Yep.
The StarCraft Observer. So I remember when I came back to the StarCraft community because after Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm came, and that's when my adult life took over. Like I met my ex-wife and we had a kid, we had a family, and I just had to like, focus on that. And I missed so much during that. And then once things started to like to settle and I was actually able to get into these things again, Legacy of the Void just came out and I started playing and my friend Matt he got me back into it because I met him through StarCraft actually, through like a 1v1 during Wings of Liberty. And it was a random ladder game too. Like it was TVZ. And I was struggling with TVZ so bad. I got frustrated at this game. I was like, hey, like I messaged him after and I was like, hey, can we do some like customs? Because I really want to train my TVZ. Like I just don't understand it. And then ever since then we became like best friends and we still like, hang out and like talk to this day. So because of him, we ended up going to like BlizzCon, and yeah, it just I was just like your normal spectator there, like just seeing like Total Biscuit and Control, seeing Nathanius, seeing all the greats, man, Tasteless and Artosis, and so many different things, man, and um, that's when I started uh like seeing people's art and I was like, all right, cool. That's awesome. And then like I decided to start this Instagram account where like I can share people's art. And as I was doing that and asking for their permission to like, post it,
Mhm.
they would give me these like little small stories behind them and what it took to create the specific piece of art. And I was like, dude, that's so interesting. And like one example was there was this glassmaker who made like this Zerg emblem and he ended up leaving his normal day job because he just was very unsatisfied and he found happiness in creating glass art. And he just gave me like a bunch of like details as to like why he liked making glass art and all these like incredible like pieces of art in general. And I was like, dude, why haven't I like heard this anywhere? So um I was like, oh, I should make a blog or something, so then people can know about this thing. And at the time, like after like BlizzCon and all that like settled down, and yeah, I was thinking about making a blog, and I did do a blog for a bit, and like actually like reviewing art and stuff. Like you'll still be able to find the Medium, what is it, blog out there if you search like the StarCraft Observer Medium, and then you'll see some articles. But um, yeah, like it wasn't until I landed a job at UCLA and the commute from where I lived in Pasadena to UCLA, it's super far, dude.
Oh,
Like getting to UCLA in the morning, it's an hour and a half. Getting home on the way back is about like 2.5 hours.
Oh my
So
god.
I had to make that commute because not only did I like this job, but I had to support a family and I was putting my ex-wife through school at the time. So,
Mm.
I was like in a position to be able to do all those things. So as I was sitting in traffic, I'd always listen to podcasts. And this one particular podcast, Startup, it was a Gimlet Media, actually one of the very first podcasts by Gimlet Media. And the idea of this guy starting this company, and he's documenting everything, and creating these episodes of like getting funding from VCs and stuff. Like I found that whole process of like taking audio and making a story like just so fascinating and like beautiful that I wanted to do that for my blog at the time. So I was like, cool, like it would be really awesome if I can talk to various community members and just get their stories out there, and with their permission and stuff. So that's pretty much how it came to be, really. Just sitting in traffic, man.
Awesome. It's like it's almost like a shower thought, but you just had tons of time to just sit and think. So
Yeah, yeah. And like once I started like getting into the weeds of it and like learning how to edit, like I knew, like I didn't know, yeah, like I had zero knowledge of how to edit. I had some knowledge of how to put things together because my brother, he was a film major. He went to the LA Film School, and when I was a kid, I'd always watch him like be editing these like student films he was working on and stuff. So the idea of like taking one scene and another scene, and going to different shots, that made sense to me, and like how he stitched them together. So I kind of like applied that concept to audio, and then also like listening to all these other podcasts and how clean they were, cleaning up the audio and like trying to like replicate that. So yeah, lots of influences.
yeah, that's awesome. And I think even in episode one, like you did it really well with like even the intro to like the Discord call, like with
Oh
setting
yeah.
up a new section. I mean, I thought that played really well.
You know what? I was so worried about that because I was like, my friend Matt, when he was listening to it, he's just like, I don't like the Discord thing. I was like, why? It's like, dude, because when it happened, I was actually checking if I was getting a Discord call. But
uh,
I really liked it because, yeah, it's like you said, it just sets up like this scene change.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm sorry to all those people out there that are like, checking their Discord calls, but it just sets up a really good transition, and it like lets the listener know that like we're on this Discord call together, and we're actually talking to each
yeah,
other. So, dude, I'm glad you noticed that.
yeah. No, I did a lot of researched. Made sure I was prepared.
Yeah, that and that first episode too, one of my biggest learning things from that, or like one of the biggest takeaways, was dude, I spent so much because I was like perfecting it. I was trying to perfect it like
Oh yeah,
to the max. That's the worst thing you can do.
it is.
Because yeah, I think that episode, from when I recorded it, because I got like those initial interviews at BlizzCon, and I think a year went by, and then I started editing it. Wait, was that? No, that was a Borsty one. Um, but yeah, like the community one, that took me like about like 4 months because I was just trying to perfect the audio, and I was trying to get all the ums and uhs and
Mouth
little,
noises.
yeah, those little like mouth noises. But um, the thing is, when you do leave those in there, it gives a more natural feeling.
Mhm.
So it's more of like, just letting the audio be sometimes, because you want the listener to feel as if they're actually talking to somebody and listening to a conversation. So having those ums, uhs, and uh, long pauses sometimes are good to have in there. So, yeah, don't spend too long on a podcast. Just do your best, and if it sounds good around like second or third listen, awesome, send it.
Excellent, excellent. Great
Mhm.
advice. Next question. The memes. I mean, where do you come up with these? They're so funny. I literally am laughing out loud at like half of them.
Mhm.
And some are so like so accurate. There was one where you had like the goggle filter and you were looking for like an observer, like when you're a Terran, and I was like, I do that all the time. I'm like, did something just move on my screen? Like scan, scan, scan. And they're just so funny. So like, where do you get the ideas for these? Because they're
uh,
genius.
I think it's a culmination of StarCraft gripes throughout the years.
Okay.
Because like trying to find an observer feels like you need a freaking pair of goggles just to like, find this animation that's so small. And yeah, kind of like bringing those to life and also being, on TikTok a lot. That's where I get my inspiration. And one
Mhm.
thing I recommend to a lot of content creators is like, if you're creating a specific media, consume it and just try to add your own twist to it. So yeah, with TikTok, like I was always like on there and trying to find inspiration for like, how could I make this sound into a StarCraft bit? And yeah, I'll just be watching people on TikTok and how they go about it, and just trying to put my own take to like, StarCraft, and just remembering some gripes that I've had a long time ago. And I think I made this one about like how it feels to be charged by a zealot, and there's like I'm pretending to be a marine and I see a zealot just walk into the frame and then it charges at me and it's just like beating down on me. Because when that's just a single marine and zealots have charge, it just feels that way.
uh,
It's just like there's nothing I can do.
right. Charge lock's too
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah, charge out's too strong. And yeah, like yeah, just taking all those gripes. And what helps remember all those ideas too is like writing them down too. Like I would get in the habit of just at the end of every week, I would go through like TikTok and like watch like all these like different videos, and I'd be like, oh, dude, I think I can make something with a Templar with the sound, or I can do something with a Zerg on the sound, or I can create this type of skip with the sound. So yeah, it's just yeah, that's basically where it comes from. Is just like consuming like TikTok and shorts and reels and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Really, really well done. I have a few favorites, but I mean they're all really funny. Really, really funny.
thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I just love doing that type of content. And you know, one of the things I get uh asked sometimes is like, how do you how do you do that? I was like, what do you mean? Like, how do you just make a TikTok? I was just like, you just do it. Like, don't worry about what people think. Just be yourself and just put it out there. One of the biggest things that people can see is that when you're really genuine in your content, and when you're really genuine, people really love that. And especially if it's like something you enjoy, people will appreciate that and share it with their friends. And yeah, like I was really surprised. Like it all started with just me taking my gripes, making videos, and that was it. Like there literally wasn't like, oh, I want to get like 1 million followers. Like, no, I just want to make videos.
Right. That's
Mhm.
amazing. I love it. In episode 7,
Mhm.
Lex Grizzly asked you how
Mhm.
you felt releasing episode 1. You said, honestly, you were terrified, doubting if you were doing the right thing amidst fears of being overshadowed by a more popular podcast. You said that you almost quit, worried no one would listen or want to be interviewed by you, but pushing past those fears was crucial. You realized that the StarCraft community isn't about competition when it comes to podcasts and shows or streams, but is very supportive. For anybody listening, that episode's very raw and vulnerable, but very well done. And, your support for not my new podcast means a lot to me. And, just proving we're all here to lift each other up. And, thank you for not only talking the talk, but walking the walk. So when I was listening to that episode, again,
Mhm.
very good, very raw, but that section, as I was like working through my own stuff, like was like, it is a great community and we are all in it
Mhm.
together. So like, I
Mhm.
super
Mhm.
appreciated, as hard as that probably was, putting that out there. That was really, really great.
Oh man, yeah. Dude, as you were saying all of that, like I was just thinking back to like when I was actually afraid to put out this podcast, because what was happening at the time was, let's see, when I did the Lex Grizzly episode, and yeah, episode 1, all these content creators within StarCraft started making podcasts. So
Mm.
Zombie Curve just came out with her caster calls. Tesa started doing his. Who else? There's a couple others too that just started doing podcasts,
I
and
think
I
you
was like,
mentioned Neuro was putting one out as well.
yeah, Neuro was doing one too, and I forgot who else. And I remember taking like bits of audio too, like because I just couldn't sleep. Like I was literally just like felt like it was too late. This is over. Like I feel like I should just like not continue this thing anymore. And yeah, like I just couldn't sleep, man. So I was like, I remember being in my kitchen just pacing around and just recording my thoughts on my phone, which I have those audio bits still. I just haven't put them out there yet. Just describing my fears as to like I feel like I failed just because I just took too long. And yeah, like it's just I think at the time I had the wrong perception of, whoever does it first, no one else can do it. Um and that shouldn't be the case because it goes back to what you said. Like we're all here to support each other. And dude, like when you meet a lot of the StarCraft community members in real life, nicest people ever, dude. And they're always super supportive and they're always there to lift you up. And I really got a good taste of that when I went to Home Story Cup. That was really unexpected because in terms of the experience, because what happened was I was going there as just your average viewer. I'm going there to this thing I've been wanting to go to for years, since like Wings to Liberty, and seeing like all these people just chilling in a house and just having a good time. And I get there and people are like, "You're the TikTok guy, right?" I was like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, yeah, you're the guy that makes the videos like on like TikTok and Reddit and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yeah. It was just a like a super surreal experience because like I said, I just wanted to make videos and stuff. And at one point, like this Italian guy with like glasses and long hair comes up to me and he's like, "Dude, I love your videos, man. Just they make me laugh all the time, and yeah, like I just really love them so much." And he pulls out his like One Punch Man mouse pad, and I
Hmm.
sign it. And then it turns out that person's mouse pad that I signed was Larimbo.
Larimbo. That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, they're just all super positive at this event, and it just made me realize like just we're all here to support each other. And you know not to be afraid to put your content out. Like nobody's trying to compete with each other, nobody's like trying to like outdo anybody. We're just trying to have a good time, create content, share our takes on how we feel about certain things, putting out stories about the amazing people in the community. And yeah, like don't let fear like take hold and prevent you from putting out your content. So yeah. Yeah, man. Oof. Yeah, pacing around in my kitchen and remember those audio notes that I took when I was afraid.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you pushed through, and I think the community is as well. I mean, even looking at your podcasts on YouTube, all the positive comments there is really
Mm.
really inspiring. So,
Yeah, just when I get like one positive comment, like it just changes my whole day up, man. Like because I do this thing constantly, and there's moments where it can get kind of stressful where you feel like you're not doing enough, or you're not putting out enough content, or you're not doing your best, or you see this one negative comment and you're just like I should just like stop or whatever. And then like one positive one just like boom, like totally gone. Like you feel like you're on top of the world all over
yeah,
again, and you remember why you're doing this in the first place. So yeah, shout out to those people in the comment section that are supporting the content.
100%. Yes. All right. Before we move on,
Mhm.
anything else you want to say about the StarCraft Observer or you?
Check out the podcast. You can follow the Starcraft Observer on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. wherever
We
you
got
get your social media.
I put the link in chat to
Yeah.
the link in bio for the Starcraft Observer. Definitely check it out. Subscribe. Highly recommended.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
All right, so we're gonna switch gears to
Let's go.
StarCraft.
Awesome. I'm ready. I'm ready. You know, I was born for this, dude.
Exactly. All right. So, any tournaments in recent memory you enjoyed, or any upcoming tournaments you're really looking forward to?
Yeah. So the first one that comes to mind, like right away when I think about like tournaments that I enjoyed, DreamHack Atlanta 2 years ago. I
Mm.
didn't go to this one this past year because I had to fly out to see family in California, but that event was like the culmination of the entire StarCraft community coming together. Because everybody felt like it was going to be the last one, you know, or like we
Mhm.
didn't know if we're going to get like more StarCraft tournaments after this thing. So, yeah, everybody turned out to just come see this event and all these amazing players, you know, play their hearts out on the stage. And on top of that, I think what made the experience a lot better was, and I didn't expect this to happen either. Like, I ended up getting like an Airbnb with Tempo and Nina and Cobra. And that made the whole experience like super fun because you know, I never met Tempo. I always like, you know, appreciated the content he put out and all the like parody music he did and just seeing
Yes.
all the StarCraft content he was making, right?
Mhm.
And same thing with Nina, you know, amazing Protoss player. And then,
Oof.
you know, for her to like be staying in our Airbnb, like it was just like, I don't think I belong here. But dude, they're super nice and, like, we were just spending the entire night just playing Uno, just competitively, like, we're just, like friendships were almost lost that night, like, every
Wow.
single night. But, yeah, through Uno, we solidified our friendships and stuff, so, but, yeah, like, being at that Airbnb plus this epic tournament and just the community turning out, and on top of that, like, at the time, you know, Pylon Show doing their thing. Oh, that was another reason why I was going out there because Cobra Venom was just like, "Hey, do you wanna help me with the Pylon Show?" I was like, y yeah." So, yeah, we ended up going to Atlanta, doing the Pylon Show there. BMOF was, hosting, and I got to like, go behind stage and see how everything was set up, so but, yeah, that tournament specifically is the one that comes to mind, and one tournament that I'm actually really excited for that's coming actually this weekend is Cheesadelphia.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be there. I went there, I think the last one was like 2 years ago. Yeah, went there 2 years ago and had a total blast, man. Just seeing again, like the community. Like I'm always gonna go back to the community because like when everybody's there to talk StarCraft and just hang out and have Korean barbecue and just go to all these like food places, it's just an awesome time.
Ugh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one this weekend, and I do plan on going to DreamHack Dallas. So it's gonna
Mhm.
be my first time going like to Texas and going to a DreamHack event in Texas. So yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah, hopefully if things turn out right, maybe I'll go to Home Story Cup this year, but we'll see.
Excellent. All right. So over the past week or two, the 2024 GSL Season
Hmm.
1 Code S has been going on.
Hmm.
We have Group A, B, and C have gone. Group D is going March 21st.
Hmm.
So I'm just going to do like a quick little update on that. Feel free to chime in um, if you have anything to add. So
Yeah, go for it.
Group A, Maru showed why Terrans shouldn't be messed with, clinching the top spot with a solid 2-0 record and a 4-2 map score. Shin the Zerg snagged second place with a 2-1 record. Sue and DRG played some good matches, but couldn't quite keep up.
Hmm.
Group good.
Oh no, I was gonna say like I was just looking at the group and just like one Terran and the rest, you know, just being Zergs.
Zergs, yeah.
I was just like, uh I mean, I would expect like a Zerg to come out on top. I mean, we still got a Zerg coming out of it, but still, like I thought it would seem like two Zergs coming out of there instead of Mario. But Mario's just a beast and apparently the goat at the moment. So
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna bring that up because that is, I mean, it's the my whole Twitter feed right now is just
yeah,
the goat list. So
yeah, subjective. Okay, subjective chat.
yes, yes. So Group B had Stats flexing his Protoss muscles, leading the
hmm
pack with a 2-0 record, and showing off some slick 4-1 map scores, playing some of the best PvZ we have seen in a long time.
Yeah, yeah. Seeing stats playing, and I told you about this earlier.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it felt like watching him play at BlizzCon all over again in the finals against Sarah and how he was utilizing the mothership. And yeah, seeing Heaven tweet about it too, saying like seeing stats use the mothership is mothership 101. And when I was watching the game, I was just like, dude, like you can do that? Like, dude, I haven't seen the mothership used like this in a while, man. Like, teleporting units, and he's actually dropping down the stasis ability or the time ability. I forget the
Yeah,
name of it.
it's like a
Yeah,
time warp where it like slows or freezes. Yeah,
yeah, and I think he had like more than one mothership on the map at one point. So yeah, it was a really insane game, and if anybody hasn't watched it, highly recommend it.
yeah. If you're only gonna watch one series from the group stage so far, I would 100% watch that one. And I'm a Terran main, so that's saying a
Yeah.
lot.
How'd you feel about Dark in this group?
Oh, Dark just couldn't seem to get it together.
hmm
He only grabbed a single win and just wasn't playing his best,
Yeah.
which I was surprised. I thought before Group B went, I've put him at the top.
Yeah. Yeah. I expected the same thing too. And what's funny though is like outside of GSL, seeing him like playing the KSL and all these like other events,
Mm,
and his performance, I I'm just surprised with how he's playing. I don't know if like he's focused on other things or he's just experiencing life at the moment. But yeah, I was really surprised about his performance in this particular bracket. And yeah, I had the same expectation. I thought he was going to come out on top. At least top two in this group.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So that was a surprise. Classic played well as well, clinching
Mhm.
the second spot, and Bunny just couldn't get anything going
Mm.
in Group B, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, Protoss has got through.
I know.
I mean, dude, everybody was thrilled. Like I was looking at my Twitter feed, and all the Protoss players are super stoked, and rightfully so. They want to see a Protoss in the finals, and yeah, I appreciate that.
Definitely. Well, Group C might have something to say about that, as it
Yeah.
was the Terran show with Byun and Gumio at the helm. Byun was unstoppable, not dropping a
Mhm.
single map and finishing 2-0. Gumio also put up a good fight, ending up 2-1. Nightmare and Creator couldn't quite break the Terran dominance, both having a bit of a nightmare in their matches. uh, I got to put the dad jokes in when I can.
I love it. Absolutely love it. We're both dads. We can relate. So I appreciate your
Exactly.
dad jokes. When you're a
Yes.
dad and you're making dad jokes, they hit a lot harder.
Oh, they really do. I like did not enjoy them. But then once you become a
Yeah.
dad, like something changes and you're like, these are the funniest things in the world. So that's
Mhm.
GSL. And like we said, Group D is going March 21st. So look for that in 3 days.
Mhm.
All right. Now
Yeah.
we're going to swap over to the infamous balance pack. We're not going to go
Yeah.
over
Overall,
everything.
I know, I was gonna say, like, overall, like, how do you feel about the balance patch, like, and, like, the proposed, like, changes that they have in this?
Yeah. So I think it's not super bad. Even as a Terran player, I don't widow mine as much. My Liberators,
Mhm.
Siege, I never get the upgrade. Out of 100 games, 99 I won't get it. So like as like a solid plat
Yeah,
player,
yeah.
it's
I know,
like great.
It's like yeah, as you're playing, you just remember like, "Oh, yeah, there's this upgrade. I should have gotten it, like, 20 minutes ago into the late game or whatever." And then, yeah, like, some of these changes here too, and, as a respective Terran player, I was watching, Gemini. He did a post and pre-patch video
Hmm.
on the proposed changes, and, yeah, seeing the Widowmine splash damage, it w it wasn't because, like, when you th when I was looking at the numbers, I was like, "Okay, I think that's a significant change." And then when you did the comparison, it wasn't really much of a change. I mean, in that particular, like, Widowmine segment, I think 4 additional probes still lived. I think a lot of Protoss players are still gonna find, like, a lot of gripes with the unit itself, and, they're gonna still be hating on it and stuff and not having a good time.
Gemini video. Uh,
Y Mhm, mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, like, the
Go.
whole, like he did the Widowmine thing, and like I said, like, he had a group of, like, probes just in there and had a Widowmine target it.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think in the new patch, like, just 4 additional probes lived compared to the previous splash damage,
Right, and
which,
it
I
was a
mean,
pretty tight square of probes too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, which, if you think about it from an economical standpoint, that's 4 additional probes or just a couple more probes you still have and not have to worry
True.
about your mineral
True.
line.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't think I thought it was gonna be a more dramatic change because when I saw those changes proposed, I was like, "Oh, dang, they're really nerfing the Widowmine." And then when I see the, comparison, I was like, "Okay, it's not that bad."
Right, and, like, the increased sight line,
Mhm,
I don't have the micro to move a unit that's being targeted out anyway,
mhm, mhm.
and the announcement, again, in my league,
Yeah.
solid plat,
Mhm.
not affecting me one bit.
Yeah, I mean, even at being at Diamond 3, same thing, I can relate, like, I'm not really gonna feel the changes because 'cause I'm still working on my macro.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I'm trying not to bank, like, thousands of minerals as I'm, like, focusing on this Reaper trying to scout. Uh, it's, like, 2 minutes into the game or whatever, but, yeah, like, I probably won't feel it, but I think the noticeable change, like, the Widowmine line of sight is pretty big too, because before you weren't really able to see the laser when it was targeting on a specific unit. Now
Right.
you're able to see, like, this thick laser, and the unit turns a specific color, so it turns red, I think, or something like that.
Oh, alright. Uh,
Yeah,
that's true. Kinda like it was hit with a anti-armor missile or
exactly.
something. Yeah.
That color, yeah, so you're able to see, like, which unit, so if you're, able to, like, manage your army correctly, you're able to move your units out of the way and just let that one get hit. And yeah, like, that one was pretty big, so that I kinda, like, appreciate happening because there's some times where I take Widowmine hits and I'm just like, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna move this," and I think it's targeting this unit, but it's not, and it gets into the middle of my Marines, and next thing you know, they're all gone.
Oof, right. That hurts. I can
Yeah.
tell you that hurts for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but with those nerfs, I think we get some really great things.
Mm.
Armory cost reduction and infantry weapons armor upgrades reduction.
Yeah, that's one thing I saw too, like, I wonder how the cheaper upgrades are gonna play out. Because are we gonna start getting upgrades, like, a lot more earlier in the game? Because yeah, they cost a lot less. This is one thing I keep pointing out to everybody, is just like, at least upgrades cost less now, guys. Like, everything's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because I have like a 2-2 timing build.
Mhm,
And if I can get it out even a little earlier, I mean,
mhm.
I think I'm just gonna shred. So
Yeah.
I think
I
it's a
wonder
great trade-off for me
yeah.
personally.
Yeah, I don't know. They might not keep that, so,
I know. Oh, I mean,
'cause
it's
yeah.
horrible. Oh, I'm so mad as a Terran. Just put it in. Salt of all the salt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and with the Widowmine, are they, because I know tunneling claws used to be, like, I think you had to have, like, a factory and a tech lab to research tunneling claws or something
Hmm.
like that.
Yep.
Are they is that something they're putting back in, or is this something that's, like, new?
Yeah,
Because
I
like,
think
it's
it's going to require the tech lab on the factory.
no, okay. I felt like that was there before. Maybe it
Mm.
was on, or was that on the? I think it was on the armory, right?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense now. But yeah, yeah.
So, have you played around in like the PTR at all?
No, I have not because I've just been super focused on content and I haven't been able to play any video games at all.
Oh, that's sad.
So I experienced StarCraft through my own content. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Hey, Arctic Fox. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. All right. Next up, Cyclone.
Mm.
This one I have mixed feelings on because I didn't start playing Terran until after the last Cyclone change.
Mhm.
So this is the only Cyclone I know.
This is the only one.
So like when everyone is like, "Oh, Cyclone like stuff," and I'm just like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, I love it now." Was it worse before? Apparently it was, and now it's getting nerfed a little bit. And for like 20 increased health, I like just don't think it's a good trade-off. I don't like this one.
I still feel we're gonna get like mass cyclone still, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I absolutely bring back the Raven Wars in TVT. Okay, that's I miss that instead of like
Right,
this mass cyclone TVT dropping into people's bases and that's it.
right. Just wiping
Because
out your mineral line.
yeah, and I think that's weird. I don't. Yeah, because I think that was an issue early on, and that they tried to fix with the cyclone thing,
Hmm.
and it just made things worse. I was like, you guys just should have left it as it was and changed something else, maybe. And
Yeah,
it feels
this
like
was not it.
yeah, and it feels like they just and I know Up a Tree can sympathize with this. It's like, and actually a lot of people can sympathize with this. It's just like nobody knows what the cyclone is. You
Right,
know, is it like the stationary unit that just chills, or is it going to be this fast unit that's able to like shoot things down and just be able to deal with like um I don't know, like oracles and phoenixes. Like they just don't know.
right,
And
right.
one, yeah,
They need to pick a lane, stick to it.
yeah, stick to it. And that's it.
Yeah, it's Cyclone opening is my preferred in TVT.
Hmm, hmm.
So I'm hoping it doesn't change it that much because I don't want to go back. TVTs are so annoying.
Oh, you didn't
'Cause,
like the Raven thing? I enjoyed the
Uh,
Raven thing.
I never really played in the Raven meta, so like I never get to
Mm,
experience that too much. So I mean, if we go back to that and you say it's
mhm.
fun, I'll definitely give it a shot. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I think
enjoy Raven. So are we just dropping portable turrets everywhere, or
it was just like before disabling matrix, was researched, it was on there. It was
right?
on it came with the Raven automatically. So, you'd get what was it, like two Ravens, couple I think like three tanks, Marines, and Vikings. And it just became like who can disable the other person's army better. And I think that's what they tried to, like, fix with this whole cyclone thing, and it just didn't go in the right direction.
All right. Well, I
Yeah.
think interestingly, that'll lead us into our next point, which is that Raven interference matrix can no longer target units already targeted or affected by interference matrix. So I think this is great because, like,
Mhm.
if I'm just like rapid firing everybody, like, it's not gonna
Yeah.
like waste all the energy. So, like, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't know if like others probably much better than me at the game time it really well where it's like it's just about to drop off, let me put another one, so like now they're just gonna have to get their timing a little better, but
Mhm, mhm.
I really wasn't mad when I saw this one either.
Yeah, I think there's a couple games where I saw where, like, people were constantly throwing down interference matrices on the same unit over and over, and I was like, "Dude, like, this thing just doesn't work anymore, like, it's completely off." And that kinda, like, who was it? Yeah, I think it was probably, like, one of, Apatry's TikToks that I was working on where, like, he dropped it multiple times on a Colossus,
Hmm.
and that kind of felt like a little unfair.
Broken, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, broken, essentially, yeah. Being able to, like, throw interference matrices and, having this really expensive unit do nothing, so,
Right. All
mm.
right, well, then this will be good. It'll be
Yeah.
more fair.
Yeah. This change I'm really happy about for sure.
Okay, excellent. Protoss has a few interesting things going on as well. Sentry, possibly a more viable unit in PvP. It's got its light attribute tag removed.
Mhm.
So adepts can't do more damage to it. I think they do bonus light damage. And their damage increased from 6 to 6 with +4 versus shields. And I think in that Gemini video, he ran, I think it was like 5 or so Archons against a bunch of sentries, and pre-patch, sentries got destroyed. Post-patch, sentries won.
Yeah, that should not be happening.
Listen, that plus shield damage was putting in work.
Yeah, dude. Like, you're taking a massive unit versus this small light unit. It should not be able to do that.
Right. With the tickler beam, doesn't tickle now, stings a little
Yeah.
bit. So
Yeah. I think what they're maybe trying to do is just increase the survivability of the sentry
mhm.
and just, have it more present on the map and stuff, which I think if I recall, like in Wings of Liberty, just dealing with sentries all the time in force fields were really, really annoying.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
remember, I forgot which matchup it was. It was like a PVZ where um somebody had like a bunch of banelings. It might have been like Huck playing Protoss. I'm not sure. I know Fear Dragon knows the answer to this because I asked him a long time ago. But yeah, the other opponent had a bunch of sentries, and dude, they dropped a bunch of force fields, and with their Templar, they're able to storm on the banelings,
Oh
which
no.
was super crazy though, because like you had to do it so fast to like enclose them in force fields, like in this big old circle, like
Right.
perfectly, and then drop a storm on top of it at the same time. So yeah, the point that I'm trying to get at is I think they're trying to improve the survivability and maybe later on in the game and stuff. So
Right. Because I
mm,
mean, I see them pop out a hallucinated Phoenix or whatever to scout, and
mhm,
then I never see one the rest of the game. Like that's their one job
that is
um,
true.
that I notice. So like maybe you will see them mixed in the army a little more for the Guardian Shield.
Yeah,
Um,
mass entries, man.
yeah, exactly.
Dude,
You
imagine
heard it
mass
here
entries
first.
against like mass archons.
that
That would be
would
wild.
be that would be fun. That would be
Yeah.
I would watch that. Pylon got a little buff, sight
Mhm,
range increase from 9 to 10.
mhm, mhm.
And I'll make a funny point later when we look at infestors, but just remember that sight increase range from 9 to 10. And I know we talked about this just a few minutes ago, but the Observer
Yeah,
build
yeah.
time reduced, the health increased from 40/20 to 40/30, so they
Mhm.
can survive a Widow Mine hit, which is
Oh
great because
yeah,
I know that was a huge, thing Protoss would. If you go on the subreddit right now and just search for it, you'll find 13 posts about
yeah,
your Observer dying, which I get. That's totally not fair because it's like accidental splash
yeah,
getting
yeah.
caught in it.
And Gemini like points out on that video too, where like he had a widow mine hit a probe with the observer on top,
Hmm.
and was able to survive and just like leave, which it just feels fair.
Yeah, it does.
and
And the
and oh, go
model
ahead.
size increase and the animation speed so that they're like you see the pre-patch to post-patch and I'm like I'm going to be able to spot that anywhere. Like it moves so much now. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
It was
that's
just like
awesome.
it's like a little like fishing bobber, just going up and
Right.
down constantly.
Yeah. It is. Uh
um,
it's really funny like when I'm watching like my friend stream or like someone stream and I see one go across the screen and I just want to yell like observer alert like
yeah,
it's over
it's
there.
right there. It's
Like
right
I see
there.
it. Dude, don't miss it. Cuz I know they're like super low health, but man, every time I'm like ready to move out, Protoss knows about it cuz they just have them right at my army or like they're just so good.
Yeah, the feeling that I hate is like when I would stream,
Mhm.
and I'm playing a Protoss player, and it feels like they know everything that I'm doing. I'm just like, dude, this guy's probably map hacking or stream sniping. Like, dude, this
Something,
is
yeah.
this is crazy. And then look at the replay, and there's like an observer. There's like 3 observers. on the
Right.
map. I'm
Just
just like,
position one following like a unit in your army, and you're just like, oh, okay, that's
yeah, that I was like, yeah, that wasn't hacks. I take that back. They're
Right.
just a really good Protoss player. So, but another thing that I think that they're trying to do too, especially with the improved build time,
Hmm.
is Protoss's scouting ability.
Mm,
I would hear a lot from one of my friends saying like it's really hard to scout Terran because there's not much you can like see early in the game because a Terran will wall off and you only see like a barracks and that's it. And that one barracks could mean like a bunch of things. It could mean like three racks, or they could be doing like a 2-1-1 or something. I don't know, whatever it is that specific Terran players like doing against, or Widow Mine drop.
right.
So hopefully, like with the increased build time, they're able to get like an observer out quicker and just see what's happening before there's a bunch of units dropping in their base or something. So I think that's what they're trying to improve upon.
Yeah. I think they're I think they're good. I think these are all fair
Hmm.
changes so far.
Hmm. Hmm.
Next one, High Templar. Feedback can no longer target units with 0 energy. I didn't know too much about this. I don't really play Protoss. I hear it's like a really. I watch a bunch of other people talk about it, and they
Yeah.
think it's really positive because it wasn't really fair if they had like a High Templar and there's like a million Zerg and they're trying to like just click one in the middle of it all and like they miss and burn their energy. So
Hmm. Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
I think this is super fair. This is very quality of life, I think, for a High Templar Protoss who's trying to use feedback.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the rapid fire of feedback?
It's not as scary as I initially thought. I
Hmm.
know an infestor with full energy will be dead, but a viper won't.
Mm.
So I think again that's pretty fair. If you catch an infestor full energy and you just
Hmm.
feedback it, yeah, good on you.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was who was it? Yeah, Artosis didn't like it so much because he's just like, you know, it shouldn't be easier. Where like, RTS shouldn't be like he's making some sort of argument like where like things are getting like too easy. And I can understand where he's coming from and stuff, but I mean times are changing, man,
Yeah, gotta go with the times, Artosis. All right. Moving on to the Zerg. The hatchery layer hive creep spread radius increased from 12 to 13. I think this was just a call in by the map makers so they could have a little
Mhm,
more flexibility, is what
mhm,
I'm gathering. I think that's great. Infestor fungal growth range increased from 9 to 10, and the
mhm,
vision range while burrowed reduced from 10 to 8. So,
mm.
right now, currently, a burrowed infestor has more sight than a pylon. And that's what I find hilarious.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy,
because it's
man.
currently 10 and a pylon's only 9. So like
Yeah.
I just when I was reading through the notes, and I think Winter said it as well. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
Um,
that shouldn't be a thing.
no, I don't know how that one like got through, but I just thought
It
it was
could,
really funny.
yeah, because for me, I felt like, with infestors, if they're gonna burrow and fungal, um, you gotta make it really hard for that unit to escape. You don't want to give them like so much range where like they can just burrow, not be seen by units, and then just fungal and just get away really quick.
Right, right.
Um, so yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I know Cyril uses infestors absolutely amazingly, so I don't know if this is a specific Cyril nerf, but they also increase the size of the moving burrowed infestor visual effects,
Yeah.
which are, again, I think the Gemini video. I'll have that linked in the description later for everyone who's listening to watch that video because it really, really does show you all the changes. He did a really great job.
Maybe that's why they made Sarah number 2 on the goat list because they're predicting that with this infestor nerf
Infestor nerf. He can't hold it. He can't do it.
can't do
Um,
it.
I mean, I just think his performance at IEM Katowice was
Yeah.
untouchable. It was amazing.
Yeah. I think I tweeted about this too. I think what's really gonna like put that article to the test is the esports World Cup.
Hmm.
Because for me, like in general, when it comes to like the world of like soccer and stuff, like when you go to the World Cup and the winning team wins and their star player is just, just doing amazing. Argentina, Messi,
Hmm.
um, they're the GOAT, man. Like that's it. So if this esports World Cup, has Sarah winning, that's it. That's it.
Right.
Settled. Settled.
Yes. It's gonna solidify the list.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Then there were a couple of Overlord changes. Transport Overlord morph time increased from 12.14 to 15.
Mhm.
But their move speed increased from 1.10 to 1.28 and
Mm.
2.83 to 3.0. And again, in that Gemini video, you
Mhm.
see the pre-patch versus pro patch not buffed,
Mhm.
and it moves so much faster. I mean, they seem like such small numbers, but like he gets across that screen, feels like so much faster. So I think that will increase the scoutability of Zerg early game as well.
Yeah.
So
And
like,
then doing some drops,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
so it's gonna be really exciting
Some
and
ling drops in your
annoying.
main. uh, all right. And then there were just some general changes after that, more for like
Mhm.
map makers. I don't think any of the new maps have Zerg rocks or destructible mineral lines yet.
Mm.
I didn't see them. I tested all the new maps, and I didn't see anything too bad. There are some really interesting ones in the new map pool where you just get
Oh,
like a free natural, like it's just like in your base with you.
yeah,
Um,
I think I saw Steadfast playing a couple of them, and he's just like, "Yeah, no, this is not this, no."
right, yeah. And then there's one that's essentially equilibrium because like you're both kind of like right next to each other again, but you got to like run through the map.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's just going to be the same thing. There's just going to be like drops and cheese and battle cruisers in my main in 4 minutes. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one's getting vetoed pretty quickly. So we are going to jump into next Stormgate.
Let's go.
Let me get my Stormgate section up. So now that the extended beta is over, would love to get your overall thoughts on the game, and then we can dive into some specifics.
Okay. Um, okay, so previous to this build, um, I did not have a good time. It felt a little one-sided, and it felt like, they pushed this build on us to just introduce us into this new faction called the Infernals.
Hmm.
And playing against them just felt really imbalanced. And I think I only played like 4 games, and yeah, I just stopped at that. With this build, though,
Hmm.
I think it's titled the Elephant build.
Correct. Yes.
I was playing it every day, man. I was having so much fun with it, and it was definitely a better experience than the previous build. And obviously, there's still some balance issues, and there's still some things that needed to be worked out. But yeah, man, I was just playing it every day. Like I was actually having fun with this game. That's like you know just coming out, not really well balanced, but still playing it and still
Hmm.
having a good time. And yeah, like I really enjoyed it, man. Like
Yeah.
I really, really, really enjoyed it. So for a while, I was worried, like when, like I was saying about the previous build. Um, I thought I was just like, I hope they're going in the right direction. And with this one, I was just like, yes.
Yeah. All right. Excellent.
Yeah. And then the ladder system, I'm really loving. Like the peak MMR,
Hmm.
and it stays there. And then you have your like fluctuating MMR. And that way you're kind of like, I feel like if you're like caught on an off day, you're playing whoever is at your level during that time. So it always feels fair. That's what it felt
Right.
like.
Hmm.
And once you start, I guess once you lock in again, or like once you take a break and come back to it, and your MMR starts going up, and then once you pass your peak MMR, you start getting points.
Hmm.
Nobody really knows how the point system works still, but at least that's how I see it. Is just like once you pass your peak MMR, you start getting points. So it's just it feels great. I really liked it. The highest I got to was plat 3 or plat 2.
Mm.
Can't remember. Yeah. But it was a real grind in the beginning, and yeah, I was really determined to like get in those diamond levels, but that's hard, man.
Yeah, it was. I played Infernal till plat 3, and then
Oh,
I
nice.
tried Vanguard out. But the problem is I lost so many early Vanguard because I didn't really have a build and I was just kind of like goofing around that I was
Mhm.
like 20 game losses versus my wins. So like I was in bronze forever. I won like once I got a build, I was winning so many in a row and like nothing was moving and I was like, what's happening? Like I played more games than I did on my Infernal and I'm still like bronze, but it's those losing games in the beginning. So
Yeah, dude, that's the same thing that happened to me too. I was just like, dude, it feels like a real grind getting out of bronze.
mm.
And what I thought was bronze wasn't bronze, and I actually placed in bronze. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
The aspirant or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, aspirant. I was like, yeah, cool. I should be out of bronze league once I hit this level. I was like, wait, what? I placed in bronze 3? Like, what the hell, dude?
Right, what have I been doing before this?
It was so deceiving, man. So, but I think once you get out of aspirant or aspirant, that's when you start seeing your points fluctuate and you start getting more points,
Mm,
and you start like climbing a lot better. It's just those first initial games, because what's happening is um, you get these new players that don't know how to do builds quite well, but they're like really good at RTS.
mhm.
So they'll fall to the bottom, and then next thing you know, you're playing these really good players that have like really good micro and macro skills, and you're over here just trying to survive. And yeah, that's what made it a struggle. So, but yeah, I overall like I really had a great time. I really like the direction they're taking it in, and just the overall play style of I was playing Vanguard mainly.
Mhm.
I really need to give Infernals a chance. Um, and
You
just like,
should.
see what the play style is like, and experiment more with that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Overall, it's been very positive for me, and I'm not like trying to like oversell it. Like I legit had a great time.
Oh, me too.
Mhm.
I pretty much didn't play StarCraft at all while
Yeah.
it was up, and I think it lasted, like, a really good amount of time because
Mhm.
right towards the end, it was getting, like, a little stale. People I was playing had, like, super tight build orders already or
Mhm.
the most insane, Atlas drop micro where I was just like, "Oh, bro, this is not me, like, I'm not ready for this
Yeah.
at all. What do I got against you, Spriggans?" And then then they could drop their mines. So
Mhm.
my shadow flyers or whatever were doing nothing, and I was like, "Yep, I'm ready for tier 3 units. I'm ready for another raid. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's push out of this."
Yeah, I
Um,
remember. I remember. Yeah, as soon as I see like Atlas Micro, I'm just like, dude, I am way out of my league. This person's a lot better than me. Like one person that did it really well against me, and we're kind of like on par, like in terms of like laddering. Obviously, she's better. Is May Lameo.
oh
Um,
yes.
dude, we played a match that was really good, but her micro skills are just a lot better than mine. And she was doing Atlas drops on me and just owning at all times. I was like, I suck at this game, but she's really damn good. So,
She's so
uh,
good.
yeah.
I was actually gonna shout her out after, so I'll just do it now. Mail 'em out and Huge Boulder held King of the Hill every Sunday at I think it was like 2 p.m.
Hmm.
EST.
Hmm. Hmm.
It was really fun. It was open to everyone. They let me play in it, and like I wasn't that good. But I mean, Jay was in there, the guy going for like the 1,000 wins. He was amazing, and a bunch of other people, and they were all just so like, "Oh, you should be doing this or try this." Like everyone was
Hmm.
supportive, and
Yeah.
everyone was having fun. No one was like raging. We were all just like goofing around for a couple hours, and it was honestly super fun. May said she's going to do it for ZeroSpace as well. So like, I'm
Yeah.
literally like pre-planning, like, all right, Sundays at 2, clear the schedule. Cause like, it's just really fun and everyone's just so great. And I think that just speaks a lot about the community again, which we keep
Yeah.
talking about
Mhm.
how great everyone is. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, I think for this one, it it made you realize how big the RTS community is because we had people from all different parts of RTS, from like AoE 2, AoE 4, um,
Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 3. Yeah, dude, like just different RTS games bringing us together, which is it was weird because it felt good. It's like all these new people coming in, and I'm a new person, and we love RTS, and we're enjoying this game, and everybody's super
Yes.
nice, and yeah, it just felt like it was a good time, man.
It was a great time. So I know they're coming out with a third race,
Mhm.
early April or whatever. I don't know if we get to find that out, but I literally can't wait. But what
Yeah.
would you like to see in the next build? I think they're calling it Frigate. There are a couple things I want, but I want to hear your opinion.
So one, fix the gun drop situation.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
absolutely hate dealing with the gun. Like, I just hate dealing with it.
I don't blame you.
Because like I think that's what it became eventually. Like this, Infernos are just going to do gun drops because it's just really good, man. Like if it catches Vanguard off guard,
Yeah.
um, you're dead essentially.
Right.
And
Because all your bobs convert to fiends, and then you just have this insane snowball effect that's just
exactly,
unstoppable.
yeah, dude. And I remember one time when I was playing against an Inferno player, and I really got to learn how Infest works. Was when I had this massive like army, and they had a dragon.
Mhm.
So I dragons spread infest, and my whole army just turned into fiends. I was like, "What the?
And you want to
That's
know something?
awesome, dude!"
Dragons, when they do their infest, actually create 2 fiends instead of 1. So they
Yeah,
were
dude.
getting double fiends. It's
Yeah.
an insane move for sure.
It was very devastating, but at the same time, I was like, "Dude, that's an awesome mechanic." Obviously,
Yes.
still needs to be worked out because I think the overall I think situation, even in StarCraft 2, the swarm host, free units,
Yep.
and it's kind of like hard to figure that out. So I really hope that they find a good balance and just figure out, the whole gun job thing. Another thing that they really need to fix is the turret situation for Vanguard. I
Mhm.
feel like I don't know if they're like a little too powerful against Inferno or something, or
Those
uh,
early Lancer turrets can
mhm.
like literally, unless you throw like flaming imps at it, I feel like destroyed my early army every time. And they just
Mhm.
had a couple bobs healing it. I could
Yeah,
not get through it. It was insane.
yeah. So they need to fix that.
Mm.
And how do you feel about the Lancers as Inferno? Do you feel like they were like too powerful? Because I kind of felt they were a little too powerful.
Oh, I mean, they they beat your brutes. They absolutely destroy gaunts. I mean,
Hmm.
just your early game until you got out upgraded megalodons or whatever they're called.
Hmm. Hmm.
The
Hmm.
Stompy Boys. You
Yeah.
really had no chance. And if they just rushed you with like mass lancers, and then the worst part is, and I'd like if Stormgate ever listens to this, in the Broken Crown map, that healing camp that was like right outside either your
Hmm.
third or your natural or fourth or whatever, and they
Hmm.
would just like if you were they were good enough, and I've seen it done, go heal up, then rotate back, and they just have this insane line of lancers just rotating fully healed, and then more coming in. There was
Hmm.
nothing I could do. It just felt
Yeah.
unbeatable, and they shred my shroud stones. Like
Hmm.
I'll put like a bunch of them. Meat farms are a joke to them. Lancer's too strong.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I
That's
felt
my judging
It's just too strong. Too strong.
on that.
I definitely agree with you on that. Like, I feel like there needs to be something worked out with the Lancer. What is it? They're not the Evos, but the
Exos.
Exos. There you go. Exos. I felt pretty good about. Kind of like how they had that like kind of stim mechanic where if they shoot, stim's
Mhm.
activated and then they can just like get out.
Right.
Um, but yeah, with Lancers, they really need to fix that.
I know what I would love to see is proper spectator mode and a proper replay. Because like going back and watching my stuff and just like, what was my supply? Was I floating 6,000 luminite? I don't know.
Yeah.
What the other person do? Why do they have so much stuff and I don't? Like,
or like if you go too far past the moment you wanted to see and you wanted to rewind, the units disappear, so you can't see what happened. Yeah, that's actually really important. A really solid spectator mode, which I think they'll probably have like in the next build and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I hope that's something they focus, because I think that just, I mean, watching, the tournament, I think EGC TV put on a tournament versus like watching a StarCraft tournament, and just the information I have visually is so different. I think it's super, super important. I didn't realize how important, but it really changes how like much information I can grab at a quick glance. Like, that's the supply, that's the army, that's how much they're, mining. Really changes how I can like view a game. So yeah, I hope they can focus on that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I really like too, and I'm gonna get into the dogs right now, but I feel like Vanguard has like these different play styles. Like it feels like Protoss-y almost, with the Lancers, and then you got like Terran with like the Exos, and then with the dogs, you got like the Zergling mechanic. Um, yeah, I just feel like Vanguard's like a mixture of all these like styles, which I think that's why I really liked it. They need to fix the dog thing though. Like I hate mass dogs. When it's Vanguard versus Vanguard, and I saw Nathanius doing this too. Like as soon as he saw that, he would exit. So like this is not the game I want to play. I want to play a good macro game. I want to play with my atlases. I want to play a macro game, and yeah, I don't blame him. I would have done the same thing too, because I want to play a macro game. I don't want to play like whoever has the most dogs wins.
Right. Or I've seen Nina do some insane micro with dogs. Her micro is insane.
Yeah, you know what? One thing that really kind of like shocked me too, and I was really surprised and actually happy about too, was for it being in the current state it's in, for like Nina and Juggernaut Jason and all these other like really good players to just play it
Oh yeah.
over StarCraft 2 was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. I loved it. I work from home, so like I can throw up a stream, and Juggernaut Jason was on like every day, and it was just so great to like watch. I loved it. So
I was always tuning into his streams. And then once we finally got to see like Parting actually stream too, that was awesome. Get to see like top level like Infernal play. It was really, really great.
Yes.
And you know what? A shout out to Probe too, dude, because that guy was just, dude, he was like providing us builds in times of need. Like we didn't know what to do.
On it. He was on it. Yeah. I saw him in like a few streams. I loved his games in the tournaments. His Hornet play was like really, really well done. He actually, which I thought was super smart. I don't know if he came up with this, but he was the first one I saw do it. Put a Bob turret right next to your hangar, so when you auto recall, it heals it super fast, and you can go right back out in the field. And I was like,
that, dude.
That's cheating. Like, because if not, you're waiting forever at the hangar bay, right? Like, I'm healing super slow. Nope, not in Probe's world. That's next level.
No, he's like to me like the mad scientist of Stormgate, and just providing just providing valuable information to everybody when they're asking for it, and super active in the Discord too. So it was really great, like to have him early on, because once he put out that one video of how to do like a safe opening with Vanguard, I was just like, yes, I am using that. And yeah, ever since I started doing it, I was like winning like a bunch of games and stuff. But
yeah, no, definitely appreciate him.
Yeah, going back to the changes, those are all the changes that I would definitely love to see, just like fixing Lancers, Doggos, and dealing with the con drops. Also, don't do the Jagged Maul thing again, Frost Giant. Please don't ever do that. Like, if you guys do it, like, just don't put a cannon thing.
I feel like that's how I got so much MMR as Infernal. It was so easy for me to take that. I mean, I didn't even do half the stuff the pros did. I saw that later, and I was like, oh, that's all super smart. But just being able to like rush that and then go over, and you guys are still like just getting your bases set up, I'm just like, Win, 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 win.
It was terrible. Like, I should not have to put down like 5 different turrets just to stay alive.
Right. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
an infernal favored map for sure.
definitely. Like, I was, dude, I did not like. I didn't play as much during that time when Jagged Ball was in the rotation, and yeah, even the folks at Frost Giant like understood my gripes and they saw
Yeah,
that.
they know. They
Yeah,
know.
they know. But I mean, I'm all for like next door spawn type maps, but just that one would just felt like utterly broken, dude.
Mhm, definitely. Did you read Beyond the Brink, the 5-part series?
Yeah, man, I'm all about lore.
Okay.
I consume it, I eat it, I think about it, I just like theorizing what's happening next. Yeah, dude, I absolutely loved it. Like, um, I wish we got a little bit more character depth with
Mhm.
some of the characters that they introduced. But who knows? Maybe in like the next installments they're gonna do that. But yeah, absolutely loved it. You know, it's 50 years before like the gate opens, and you're following this one main character who's just um kind of gets controlled by his emotions.
Yeah.
And you know, dude, it's like it's funny because I feel like I can relate to him a lot too. Because when he was like in a slump about the world and just all gloomy,
Mhm.
and he didn't want to do anything because he just felt hopeless.
Yeah.
There were times where like I used to get like that, where like I'd get bummed out about something and I wouldn't do anything about it, and I would just be in my feels.
Yeah. And a
And
billionaire didn't reach out to you about a special project or
exactly, and then, you know, like, I wasn't smart enough, and but, yeah, dude, I really enjoyed it, and, looking forward to the next installments. Well, the one thing I really loved too was, when they opened the story portion of the Discord where everybody's, like, theorizing, like, "Okay, what's gonna happen next?" Or, like, "What do you think this means?" Or, "What about, Sigma sausages? Do they have a big ol', like, you know"
Right, right.
you know, a big old role to play in this. But yeah, it was great. I absolutely loved it. How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was great. I think I did accidentally the smartest thing, and I didn't read it all until it was all out. Because
Oh, okay.
after, if I had to read the first chapter and wait one more day for like the next, and after that, I probably would have gone crazy. Because I was
Yeah.
like, it was just so good, back to back to back. Chapter 5 was amazing. I just thought it was like a real fun, kind of view of the world. You got
Mhm.
like, it was definitely a roller coaster. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I feel like there's some hints in there too about like what the third race might be too.
Yep.
Like there's all these like little like teasers and stuff. So
Yeah. That
um
was gonna be my next question. Are
mhm.
you team anime cat girls, or have you heard the theory based that it could be an angelic race?
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm all for team anime cat. To be honest, if we got like a fourth race that's like very you know, almost druid like,
Mhm.
I would definitely love that, dude. Like
Oh
these
yes.
like this other race that was like, you know, in tune with nature. Cause like I think another thing too that I noticed is like there's a lot of like animals on the map, you know,
Mm,
all these like critters. So maybe
yeah.
there might be this fourth race that used to be more in tune with nature. And you know, what if they're anime cat girls? But
Yeah.
seriously though, like if they're like on that level, I'm all for it. You know, like these animal type characters or these elven type characters or something like that.
Mm,
So it would be awesome. But I do have a feeling that they're gonna go the angelic route for sure, because um I think just from the main trailer of seeing like the statues and the recovery of the Luminite, or not even the Luminite, it was like one of the artifacts that they talk about in the lore as well that they discover.
mhm.
Because I know it phases in and out of time, space and time,
Yes.
and that's kind of like what happened in the trailer, like where um, for Amara, I forgot her name.
Yeah.
That character finds it and it just like materializes, and she's like, "I got it." So it's like one of those things, and I feel like those statues are definitely depict like the third race. So
Yeah. And I
yeah.
think I think this is like really fun and exciting part of kind of like a lot of these games, us kind of like all discovering it together and theorizing behind things. I definitely didn't get to do that with like Starcraft or Starcraft 2.
Yeah.
So I think it's really fun to kind of be a part of this. I'm enjoying the ride. So
Yeah, like seeing like this RTS being developed in its humble beginnings, right? And I think the only thing we got close to that in StarCraft was a fourth race, the Zonaga, like let it be
right.
the Zonaga. We need the
Yeah.
Zonaga as a fourth race. Like that was it.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I feel like I don't know, I feel like Frost Giant uh would definitely take it out of 3 races, maybe into like something more to keep it interesting, kind of like Warcraft. You
Mhm.
had like undead, you had humans, you had
Isn't there an Elven?
yeah, and then I forgot because I'm not like super familiar with Warcraft because
Yeah, hold on.
I mean I know all the other races in World of Warcraft, but the playable races in Warcraft, the RTS, like I'm not very familiar with, but
Right.
yeah.
Humans, orcs, night elves, undead.
Yeah, so there's like 4, right? So what if
Yeah.
there's like, what if they're able to do that with this and maybe even more? That'd be freaking awesome. And maybe because I mean AoE does it with the different factions. There's like
Mhm.
almost like 10 different factions. So
Right.
if they can do it, why not we?
Yeah. I thought that was an excellent discussion. Oh, super quick before I forget.
Mhm.
There's this really amazing site. It's a resource I use all the time, and I want you to put it in your bookmarks. It's
Mhm.
rtsbase.com. The creator is Ghost, and
Oh.
he created this just amazing site. It's got some StarCraft 2 functionality as well, but the Stormgate unit encyclopedia has like
Mhm.
helped me a ton. And then I even mentioned to I did one of my podcasts, I said like it'd be really cool like if I saw like a building for Vanguard and like how many bobs was on it if it reduced the build time, and he put that in the site.
That's so cool,
It
man.
was amazing. So like I think
No
I'm
more
not
trying to
seeing.
go to like Stormgate Wiki and trying to figure out the stats on the unit and it
Yeah.
not being there. Dude, this
So
is
like
awesome, man.
yeah, did a really really amazing job. Super responsive, super great. Just community member. And then in the StarCraft 2 side, there's an ability to upload a replay, and it pulls a build from it. And he wants to get that functionality for Stormgate eventually, which would be so cool. Because like, say you play someone and they like kick your butt, you upload it, you look at their build, like I mean down to the second, your supply at the time, like it's amazing. Really, really great site and resource. I talk about it all the
Dude,
time, and I love it.
like this feature that they built where like so I clicked on the imp and I
Mm-hmm.
was looking at the stats and I go to the bottom
Yep.
and I see the combat stats.
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of attackers that you can put on, it also shows you like what the starting health pool is if you have like 5 imps along with like the damage per hit, and same thing with like the defending like unit. Like if you have a lancer and you have 5 imps going up against 5 lancers, what is that starting health pool and what, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. No, this site's amazing. It's literally been bookmarked since I found it, and I don't stop talking about it. I'll probably talk about it every podcast I have. We talk about Stargate because yeah, I just really really enjoy it. I think it's a really great site for just learning units, for making builds.
Mhm.
So definitely put that in your bookmarks because that's going to be a keeper.
It's in there now. It's I love it.
All right, excellent. That's all I had for Stormgate. Do you want to move on to ZeroSpace?
Let's do it, man.
All
Let's
right,
do it.
perfect. So for ZeroSpace, I have not played it.
Mm.
So you played during the December beta.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on the game, and what tips would you give a player who's going to into the game for the first time in the Alpha 2 starting March 22nd?
Play Legion. Legion is the
Legion.
best race.
Okay.
No. No. What would what advice would I give them? Hmm. Find uh because so here's where it gets complicated.
Mhm.
So you have like your main race and then you have a sub faction.
Right.
So I think if you like jump into some customs at first and try to figure out like what your playstyle is, figuring that out first and what you like playing with, go for it. Just jump into customs first to get a good feel for it.
Okay.
Because yeah, I think my mistake was going into the ladder and trying to figure it out and getting frustrated that I was losing all these games when really could have just jumped into custom and figured out like, oh, what does this sub faction do? Like, what do they provide? Oh, they actually have like a bunch of snipers on this faction, and this other one seems more mobile because they have a lot of vehicles that like move across the map super quick. And this other sub faction this is the part where it gets cool because it's the sub factions. It just changes the gameplay.
Mm.
And this other one has like a bunch of like tanky units that can help me take on fights and stuff, where like these two big old like tanky units act like zealots taking damage while the units in the back are focus firing on other things that are going on. So yeah, I would highly recommend jumping into custom and just mixing it up and just figuring out what the sub factions do, and yeah, just the
Yeah.
overall play style.
That's awesome. I mean, that leads nearly perfectly into my second question, which you already kind of answered, but I want to expand on a little bit.
Mhm.
Because I think the picking your faction and then like the mercenary faction
Mhm.
creates really interesting options in gameplay and makes it like more diverse. So like
Yeah.
I feel like you're not going to see a ton of like mirror matches or someone exactly plays this and likes this play style versus this play style. Like how does that work? I think it's
Mhm.
going to create it's just got a ton of potential to create really amazing matches.
Yeah, it does. Because what is it? I want to say like some subfactions like counter other subfactions, but the play style just changes dramatically.
Mm,
It's not like you jump into a TVZ and you kind of like know what build you're gonna go up against. You just don't know what's gonna happen. Like you can see the subfaction that they're gonna pick, but you
mhm.
don't really know what it's gonna shape up to be.
Right.
Um,
Like are they using the tanky, units to push? Are they
mhm,
using it to
mhm.
defend at home? Like what kind of game are we playing?
Yeah, and another thing too, it never felt like there was like a constant stalemate. It was just constant back and forth because
Mm,
they added the control towers that give you experience to your hero,
yes. Yep.
and that forces engagements, which I really really love. It's not like a TVT where you're both sieged and you're just waiting for one to make the move. No, these towers like actually make you move because whoever has the towers longer, their hero is going to get like powerful over time and
Mhm.
they're going to have the advantage. So
Right, you
uh,
can't just let them sit there and get that.
exactly. So and it also forces another mechanic from players too, just being active on the map,
Mhm,
and just going between towers, making sure things are being controlled and avoiding the enemy army at all times. So it just constantly has you like doing more army management, more than you would normally. Well, normally more than I normally would in StarCraft 2, um, for some reason, which is really weird. But
yeah,
yeah, it's because of those towers.
yeah. Side note, in
Mhm.
Stormgate, I think the creep camps do something similar, where it kind of puts you on the map as
Oh,
well, as opposed to just, like, sitting at home and kind of, defending up or turtling.
yeah, I think that's why I really liked going back to Stormgate. That's why I liked Broken Crown a lot because you had all
Mm,
these creep camps,
mhm,
and whoever was taking the creep camps is getting a better income.
yes.
And if you got more income, you're going to get your structures down a lot quicker, and you're going to get units out a lot faster, and you can get expansions faster. So that's what I really liked about Stormgate 2 is just you had these creep camps that provided resources. So that's kind of like what the towers do is they're
Mhm,
providing you experience, and with your hero, you're able to upgrade it with your experience. So,
right, and then I
mhm.
also saw there were kind of, like, upgrade paths of some sort where you can get kind of upgrades for, like, your faction and then for your hero. How
Mhm.
do you feel that system was working when you played it?
That's what. So this is one thing that this is why I recommend going into customs because understanding the upgrades too and what they do, instead of like figuring it out while you're in the middle of a battle or getting ready for a battle and just picking something random that doesn't really like help you out. Because each game is just different and certain upgrades give your units different abilities. So having like a talent tree was pretty awesome. I
Mm,
think the one thing that they just need to improve on is like the readability of it and um color coding things to be more like, oh, if I get this ability, it should be green because it's going to heal my units over time.
okay.
And this section should be red because it's going to give my units more damage or something like that. Because like everything just looked the same and you had to like actually stop and read it to understand what it does instead of
Right,
like looking at different colors like, okay, if I'm seeing green, this is associated with healing. If this is red, this is associated with damage. If this is blue, then it's associated with like a defensive mechanism or something like that.
right.
So yeah, I
Because
think that's the only thing I would really want for them to improve is that UI aspect of it instead of just having to like sit there and read it and
in the
then trying to.
middle of a map when you're
Yeah.
trying RTS. Right. Not ideal.
Yeah, yeah. But I did like the fact that you had different abilities that you can upgrade and add to your units and stuff. Like it just adds for a different dynamic of RTS. So,
Mm.
mhm.
And then how do you feel about like the harvesters versus workers in this game?
um, so I think with ZeroSpace, what they're trying to do is they're having you worry less about managing your economy and
Mm,
just focusing on being able to produce. So just have it be more macro oriented
mhm,
and along with micro mechanics rewarding you significantly. Yeah, because one of the things in StarCraft 2 um, is just like, dude, okay, do I have 16 workers over here? Do I have 16 workers over here? Am I fully saturated? Am I oversaturated? Okay, do I got like three guys on gas? Do I got three guys on gas over here? Like, it's just a lot of like complexity. And I think for this, they're trying to reduce that complexity and make it more simple for anybody to pick up and just come into it and play. They still have a lot of work to do on that, but I did like the fact that I didn't have to manage workers too much because then I was just able to focus on macro.
right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's really interesting because it'll help you focus on, different parts of the play style.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really hard wrapping my mind of just like having one worker in my base building everything.
Yeah,
And then with each expansion, you get an additional worker. So I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And then over time, that expansion just gets better as time goes on. So it's like scales over time.
yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm super excited for the alpha. I bought a key on the backer kit because I was like,
Mm,
I can't miss out again.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like the same experience I had for Stormgate in Zero Space, and the one thing is that they're not the same
Hmm.
and they're different and it's a variety of RTS, which I absolutely love. And the fact that I was able to have this much fun in a different RTS um, just meant a lot. Like it just reminded me of the Stormgate experience of just like I'm actually having fun.
Right, right.
Yeah. Instead of like jumping into SC2 and torturing myself. But yeah, I was actually having fun. Like even with my losses, dude, it was that was probably the one thing I had to overcome mentally was that the player pool was so small. that I was playing against like pro players, so I'd like run into like Mixu, I'd run into Nathanius,
Oh,
I'd run into
jeez.
like I saw like May run into like Clem.
Yeah, she said that like her second or third game or something.
Yeah, dude, and she held it down so good. Like I was really surprised. I was like, "Dang!" Like she's giving him a game. I mean, obviously Clem took it because
Mhm.
he's just a freaking
Freak of
he's just
nature. Yeah,
yeah, like he's just really good. but yeah, she was able to hold it down for a long time against him. And yeah, like that's what I mean by like the player pool being small is like you'll run into pro players and you're just like, yeah, I'm not going to survive.
Yeah.
But I saw that as an opportunity to get better at the game and just improve my mechanics. I I made like a constant joke about it on Twitter. Where like I was like posting my losses because at one point I think I was like 20 losses and 0 games won. And then I think by the time I got to like 50 losses, I finally got 1 win. Yeah, so it was a fun time, and yeah, me and May played against each other, and once again, she's just really good at RTS.
He
She
is.
nu- she nuked my army, dude.
Ugh. I hope to beat her one day at an RTS. It's on
Yeah,
my
she's just,
to-do list.
just too good. She likes taking my MMR, likes taking
Right.
my ladder points, and surprisingly, we're still friends. So,
Right.
but
All right, so I have one super serious question.
mhm.
Are those super tanks as fun as they look? Because they looked hilarious, and I just want to try one so bad.
They feel like a battle cruiser. Like it hurts when you lose one
Oh,
a
I
lot.
bet.
Because they're so expensive. Because what it is like you have this big tank that's super tanky, but on
Hmm.
top of that, like depending on how you want it to play against the enemy army, you have these add-ons on top of it. So you have like 4 different turrets that you could apply to it. So you can have like a turret for dropping a shield on a specific unit. You can have another turret that's like a machine gun that like just does DPS a lot faster, or you have another turret that just is a flamethrower that deals with like the growl, which is like kind of like the Zerg
Hmm.
of Zero Space, and does like a bunch of like splash damage in case it gets surrounded. So depending on like how you want uh, that tank to play out, um, yeah, it just added a different variety, but it was super expensive and it hurts when you lose one. So, but it's fun when you got a bunch of them because you just feel like, when you have like a bunch of BCs behind you, it just feels good.
Right. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just funny, like when it came to the pathing on it, because sometimes it felt like it was too massive for some sections of the map, and it's just like, dude, is this thing even gonna make it through? Like,
Right.
uh, but yeah, it's super fun, and like I said, it's like having a BC. So I hope they improve it and make it easier for newer players to understand how to use it. Because I think one of the hardest things to figure out was like, oh, I can add a cannon onto it, and it'll do this thing, and it has this ability on it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be playing around with that a little bit because
Mhm.
I think it was your stream where I saw the first one, and I was like, "That looks so cool."
Yeah, it's freaking awesome, man. It feels so good. Yeah, like I said, I was having a great time in Zero Space. I was really surprised, especially for it being in an alpha.
Mm,
Another thing that I really enjoyed too was seeing the development team in different Twitch streams, especially Cats.
mm,
He's very involved with the game. Him and Scarlet.
yes.
And yeah, I would always see him in different like streams and asking for feedback. At one point, he was asking for my feedback as to how I felt about this specific Legion hero and how like dealing with the nuke feels almost impossible because it feels like when they cast the nuke spell, it's like instant when really it should just be like a countdown, kind of like zoning you out
Hmm.
instead of like deleting your army right away. I mean, it's
Right.
fun. It's fun to use, but there should be some sort of like visual representation indicating that don't go into this zone, um, or else you're gonna blow up. Um, but yeah, I will say though, talking about nukes, my favorite unit in that game
Yep.
was the Doom Machine.
Doom Machine. Okay.
Yeah, so the other faction, the Protectorate,
Hmm.
they basically have this unit that's a walking nuke. So when you build it, it has a timer on it, and you can detonate it, I think, at a specific time. But so it's super powerful. It does a bunch of like melee damage to units. It's like super tanky. And the thing is, once it dies, it just blows up. and it's
Huh.
like a massive nuke. So it zones out the opposing army, and you don't want to like destroy it. So it's like pushing. It's literally like pushing you back because you want to avoid it at all costs,
Right.
and you want to do like damage to it from far away. Because if it blows up on your army, that's it. Like you lost the game. Which
Wow.
yeah, that was a little interesting mechanic that I think they did with a, a walking nuke. And I absolutely love it, and they should definitely keep that in the game.
Yeah. So you're literally shaping the future of RTS games.
Yeah,
Look at
that
you.
I I know having this like influence, maybe negative influence on the game, but I think that's the other great thing about it too is like, the fact that we're getting involved in these RTSs early on and helping shape it. It's it feels like we're, I don't know, making a difference.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I love that both of these two RTSs are doing is that they're listening to the feedback. Like you can actually see them in Discord, and they'll ask things, and same thing in the voice chats. They'll be asking things too, and they'll be giving you advice on like how to use a specific unit and why it does this. So it definitely feels like you're being heard, and as opposed to like StarCraft 2, it just feels like you're talking
Yelling into
to
the
nothing.
void. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, like, actual, your voice is being heard, and that's super huge and super important.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, you can tell these both teams like really care. Like even from their creator summits that I attended,
Hmm.
um, they know that like the golden standard of an RTS is StarCraft.
Hmm.
And they're not trying to replace StarCraft. They just aspire to be like that and have that fast play style of what an RTS should have. Because there's been other RTSs, which I mean they are RTSs, but the RTS that I'm used to is like StarCraft 2 and StarCraft, where they just move faster. It's not like a
Right.
slow paced game where like it's taking like 20 minutes or maybe even more longer than 30 minutes to finish. Everything just moves a lot quicker
Mm,
and it's just a lot faster. So they know
yeah.
what they're doing and they have a good grasp as to like, what an RTS should be.
Yeah. I've been seeing that called Blizz like RTS, and that's what I've kind of been referring to it as.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
because like, I mean, I do like a lot of research and stuff for the podcast and like my previous episodes and stuff, and you just type in RTS, and it's a bigger genre than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to I narrow it down to like Blizz likes. And I think, Stormgate coming out, ZeroSpace coming out, Immortal Gates of Pyre, which we'll talk about next, is just like such a, not a revival, but it's really, everyone I talk to is getting hyped about,
Mm-hmm.
one or all of them. So, I just thought putting this, a weekly podcast kind of keeps you updated. um it's just going to benefit so many people. It's kind of, I'm making it because it's what I would want if I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time, but I'm really
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
excited about these new games. So um yeah, that's what's
Yeah, man.
super
I appreciate
exciting
you
for
doing
me.
that, dude. Like you're like the RTS observer of sorts,
Yeah,
Uh
exactly. One
I mean,
day be as big,
yeah.
but
I mean, like you're doing it. Like
mm,
that's the incredible part about it, and the fact that you're gathering all these things that having it in one place for a lot of people to be aware of and to be like a valuable resource is awesome. So yeah, thanks for doing that, man.
yeah, no, happy to. I'm absolutely enjoying myself. And again, I'm not doing it to make a million followers. I'm doing it because I learn what, like just tons of information. I love RTSs. I love
Mm-hmm.
watching streamers, procasts, tournaments, alpha footage. Just show me anything. I love it. So like it's just like
Yeah,
the best part of my day. Well, one of, obviously I love kids in
yeah.
my family, but I love RTS, man.
Yeah, one thing I absolutely enjoy seeing is people having fun once again.
Mm,
Not that like StarCraft isn't fun and stuff, but the fact that we're getting this new thing and it's putting like joy on our faces and making us smile and just have a good time. I think like the best encapsulation of all that is like when I watch Nathanius play Stormgate.
mhm.
He's just his persona is so different when he's playing Stormgate, dude. Like it's just night and day. You know, he loves StarCraft, but now that we got this new thing, you can tell he's like super excited. He's happy. He's just like thrilled that like we're getting something new, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, just I get so like I get kind of emotional seeing that because it's just like finally, you know, it's been too long.
Too long. I mean,
Yeah.
StarCraft has just been the one game, and now I think, we're getting all these. And, just another thing about the community, I see studios retweeting other studios' stuff, which, like, I just feel like in any other industry would be just not seen. You know what I mean?
Hmm,
Frost
hmm,
Giants retweeting ZeroSpace stuff, and Sunspear, Immortal gets Pyres retweeting
hmm.
Frost Giant stuff, and I'm just like, they're not in competition. We're all in it together. Like, I mean, it just shows the
Yeah.
wider community, and like it starts, all the way up there to all the way to us. So like,
Hmm,
I mean,
hmm.
I absolutely love it. Maybe there's other communities out there like this, but I love this community. I think it's so great.
Yeah, like you make a perfect good point. Just the fact that you're seeing these companies developing RTS support each other and, you know, retweeting like events that they're holding and just putting awareness out for each other. Like it's helping everybody, and that's pretty incredible to see, man.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so before we jump out of Zero Space, I know you said the visuals for the talent tree, but would there
Mhm.
anything that wasn't present in the December alpha that you'd love to see in the upcoming alpha 2?
Mm, trying to think. Let's see. Uh, I can't really think of anything other than just like balance.
Yeah, no, and that's
balance,
perfect.
balance, and actually just more players. Because actually, when Stormgate allowed more players, you know, open beta and everything,
Hmm.
it was super active, and it didn't feel like I was getting the same player over and over again that was like stomping on me.
Hmm.
So hopefully for this next one, you know, they're gonna allow bigger play. They will allow more players, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, I won't be the same person stomping and taking my points away, but probably a better ladder system and
Okay.
yeah, improvements for probably the Legion. The Legion uh seemed very like it didn't have a lot of units, even
Hmm.
though like they're very powerful.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more variety because I think everybody else had flying units, but Legion.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, but I think they talked about, introducing something for, Legion, like some sort of flying unit in this next one, so, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, because that's the one thing that stood out to me. I was like, "We have these powerful units, but we don't have anything that flies."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna feel like you're
Also,
hindered.
I
Mm.
just remembered now because once again, May is really good with this. Fix the snipers because they are overpowered.
Okay. All right. May with a sniper is deadly. Got
Yeah, yeah.
it.
Avoid them at all costs.
All right. Excellent. All right. So we're gonna move on to Immortal Gates of Pyre.
Mhm.
Have you heard of this? Have you played it? Let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So being a big fan of RTS and just wanting something to come to fruition, something different, I did back it, and I did get access to it. I never got around to playing it,
Mm.
but I did see some gameplay when they're holding some tournaments.
Hmm.
And yeah, the from when I first saw it to like where it was during that tournament, I was like, oh, dude, massive visual like graphical overhaul and big improvements. I'm surprised they still have that like teapot thing.
Yeah, for the scout. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just a meme that they're running with, and it's actually a really good one.
It is.
Um,
I find
I
it
actually,
hilarious.
yeah. But yeah, I haven't been able to play it. I don't know why. I just haven't gotten around to it, and yeah, I think the only thing that I saw that like really caught my attention was in that tournament, there was like this 25, 28-minute game going on.
Mhm.
and both um both players had big blobs of armies, and they were afraid to engage one another, or they didn't know how to properly engage. Like there wasn't anything that would like trigger the other person to just counterattack or something. Like they just
Right.
kept going back and forth like this long TVT and just moving their tanks and just doing this the whole time of just just these two blobs.
Mm,
So that's the only thing I saw, and like was wondering if like they fixed and stuff. But yeah, I haven't seen too much stuff. I know Tempo's streaming it constantly.
he is. Yep.
I just haven't been able to tune in and see what's been going on lately.
Yeah. I also backed it way back in the day.
Hmm.
So if you ever install it and wanna custom verse me, or we could do like verse AI. Uh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
play. I've been playing mostly Zol,
Hmm.
um, because I find it fun. But then I went in the Discord the other day, and I know you're a big lore person.
Hmm.
Dylan, it who speaks Khan, was on a Tempo stream,
Hmm.
and then I literally went in the Discord and I was just talking to him. I was like
Hmm.
literally talking to the lore guy, and then if you go in the lore section, people ask absolutely insane questions, and he answers
Yeah.
them like with like real answers, like they're not a carnivore, they're actually an herbivore because of this. And I'm like, this guy knows literally everything about this game, and like the lore is so in depth. Like I think they have
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
a fandom wiki page or whatever, and you just start reading that. I tried like doing a summary once, and I was just like, I I don't know how to break this down anymore. Like it's just so full of lore. So I
Yeah.
know you're
No, he.
super busy and everything, but if you get a chance.
Yeah. No, he's. I've seen him around too, and yeah, he is just like a lore aficionado.
Mm,
Like, if you want to know like all things lore, you would go to him. And there's a couple other people that I like talk to, like when I have questions about certain units when it comes to like StarCraft 2. Like,
hmm
Hyper Turtle is always in my Discord, and he's always like just knows right away. When there's something like pretty unique or something that somebody's having a hard time answering, I will always go to Subsorian. That guy is like the lore god of SE2. Like he is the collector.
Another thing I'd like to note, I know you are highlighting artists on your channel,
Mhm.
and things like that. Sunspears actually has an art contest going right now,
Yeah.
until the 24th,
Mhm.
and then the voting period will be from the 26th to the 29th. Top 10 winners will be announced on March 31st. Just kind of submit the art in the Discord with their social media handles.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you want to count that around to everybody, but it's just a reminder. Deadline's coming up pretty close. The theme is draw a unit that you'd like to see in Immortal.
Oh, that's so cool, dude.
Yeah. So like I wonder if like I mean if you do like a really cool one or like maybe your top 3, they'll put it in the game one day.
Yeah.
And again, just another way to like shape these upcoming RTSs. I just
Yeah.
think like I don't know. I feel like a kid sometimes, doing all this stuff. It's just so fun and exciting.
Yeah, I think what was it? I think oh no, I think only Stormgate had a thing where like they'll name a unit after you, but nothing
Oh
like
yeah.
this. Where
No.
like, oh hey, draw us a unit that you think should be in the game and we'll make it.
Right.
That's freaking cool, dude.
Yeah. And they're super active. Like I said on Twitter, they're always
Mhm.
asking, questions. They did a really big thing for like women's appreciation.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
I just think they're just a wonderful company. Every time I interact with them, it's super positive.
Mhm. Mhm.
And even when I first realized that I had the alpha key, when I started doing this, because I was like, I think I backed this like forever ago.
Yeah.
Someone came in, his name's escaping me. I'll edit it later and put it in.
Mhm.
Was just, like jumped in a game with me,
Yeah.
like totally kicked my butt,
Mhm.
but was like, all right, yeah, just showing you kind of like what these units can really do. And I was like, it was really
Mm.
fun. So
Oh,
like,
that's awesome, man.
yeah, it's really fun. I think the game has like a ton of potential. I really like the Pyre feature where you can
Mhm.
like gain Pyre for like additional moves and stuff.
Mhm.
With your heroes or your immortals in your faction. So,
Mm. Yeah, that's
um,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I also love that. it comes from, a group of people that met on Team Liquid and just love creating mods.
Mhm.
That's one of the things that I saw in one of their um, they're like meet the team type videos.
Cool. Was it a
And
Pyreside chat, or was it
I think it was like
or was it like a different one?
it was a different one. I think it was like one of
Okay.
the very first ones that they posted on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, like it's just these people that really love StarCraft and came together to make an RTS, and here they are now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Uh,
awesome.
I love it. Yeah, so that's the general format of the episode. You have been amazing and insightful and just a pure class act. And again, bottom of my heart, appreciate you doing this. I didn't think I would get anyone to interview on the show for a while. So, I mean, you just jump started that. So appreciate it. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out, or anything else you'd like to mention? The floor is yours.
Yeah. Shout out to the Babylings Discord for keeping me sane these past few months. I've been dealing with a lot of like social anxiety and stuff, which is why I haven't been streaming. And when I go into that space, it's always like a safe space for me. And they're always listening, and it's always a pleasure being around that group of friends. And the fact that I can call these people a group of my friends, really amazing. I also want to shout out to Up a Tree, who has given me the opportunity to create his content, his TikTok content as well, and most recently start editing his Co-op Companions series.
Okay.
That's been such a blast to work with, and he's just such an awesome person. And um, yeah, like it's just been an incredible journey these past 6 months. And also shout out to the StarCraft community for their continued support and their encouragement for creating more videos, and just wanted to see more content from you, which is, like I said, it's just so weird.
No, it's not. Your content's amazing. I
Thanks,
love
man. I
it.
appreciate
Definitely keep it up.
it. Hold on, let me turn off my camera, dude.
Right. End the stream. End the stream. End the stream.
End the
Yeah.
stream. Cancel it. Cancel it. Oh man, but yeah, I appreciate you for having me on the show, and give me your time to be on. And yeah, and I appreciate everything that you're doing too for the RTS scene, and being a valuable asset to the RTS community in general, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That means a ton. I'm gonna ride that one for a few episodes at least. So thank
No
you.
worries, man. You can just give me a Discord call, and I'll let you know every time.
Yeah. Every couple episodes, I'll be like, oh, I gotta call Nish.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and if you have any additional community things that you want to do, always feel free to reach out. And yeah, if you need help with anything, just let me know. I'm always a Discord call away. I always let everybody know that yeah, if they need any content advice, or editing advice, or advice on social media, they can always reach me, and I'm always glad to help. It's just what I love to do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and same to you. If you ever need anything, or help with anything, reach out. More than happy to.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna do my official sign off. So that's a wrap for today's episode. Remember, keep your bases built and your strategies bold. This is Judge Thunder with Nish, with RTS Reloaded, signing off. Game on, Commanders.